Hello and welcome. My name is Natty Cash, and we are back with some more Asbury Pines. Again, I just kind of finished recording the last video, and we had a crazy one where we were dealing with um, Quallen and Zebna traveling into the past, kind of realizing this temporal, this time traveling, and how the past and the future are connected. Zebna turns out to be this cult follower that is trying to disrupt what Moharan Praetus and Quallen are trying to do, where they're trying to then make sure that certain events happen so that the future or the present here stays intact. So very interesting to see that. Now, this probably means that for the rest of the entire story here, we're going to be jumping back and forth to different time periods. So I'm going to try the best that I can to then stay in, as some of the time periods as best as we can. But I am going to have to probably jump around a lot to then follow the last little bits here, because with people traveling through time, that's just going to be part of the process. However, what I will do is try to then deal with anything that's left kind of from our stories in the future. Again, there might be some more stuff that we will find out, as you'll see with Patra, that will then we'll have to jump then into the past from there. But we are getting really darn close to the end of this series. So Patra, let's see what we got here. 10 years, I believe, if my processor is efficiently recycled. You're attempting a joke, right? You believe it will take 10 years for you to process a theoretical map of critical temporal events from the experiment data? Yes. If my processors are cooled and cleaned intermittently across that time, respectfully, you cannot perceive the vast amount of mathematical computing required for this undertaking. I will have to enter a hibernation of pure calculation. I will have to divert all power to creating and testing many theoretical algorithms simultaneously. Analogy: you must map all the things in a dark room of an unknown size, and all you know is that there is a room, and there are near infinite small things that are moving about in undefined paths. But it's possible. You think you can do it? The goal is a mathematical map that extrapolates how an event in time affects other events in time. Yes, our experiment data is just enough for me to get started, though the scope of the map is limited to all of the knowledge of our past and our present. Fine. Yes, fine. I'll brief the team tonight, and we'll prepare to begin as soon as possible. So there's this big mapping here, but then I think Zebna started studying this in the process as well. Year 105 after founding. Public viewing of Temporal Cathedral soon to end. Quintessines are reminded that the newly built Temporal Cathedral in the Great Pine Woods will be closed to public viewing starting April 1st. The structure, part library and part laboratory, is devoted to studying the interrelationship of time, gravity, and space. Particular attention will be given to the exploration of what ancient philosophers called dark energy, a hypothetical anti-gravity force. The goal is to reveal natural truths hidden in the fourth dimension, otherwise known as the flow of time. Those who visit will have the opportunity to meet head of temporal research, Patra, the first ever artificial intelligence to be bestowed such notable leadership. Unprecedented discoveries and advancements require the management of unprecedented amounts of information, said Queen Yura, the driving force behind the cathedral's construction and intention. Patra is a gift from Moharan Praetus, a student of temporal studies at Exumnus Academy, and the invention of her father, Vinder Praetus, who was known as a leading authority in high-performance computing. I and fellow researchers are very pleased with Patra's depth of guidance and insight. Protesters outside the cathedral criticize its purpose and need. Forget the fourth, stated a concerned citizen who wished to remain anonymous. We are beings of the third dimension, so why must we meddle with forces beyond our perception? Besides, any child who has uploaded a basic human history cartridge knows that the hubris of mankind leads to its downfall. It's not hard. Forget the fourth. So that's where this phrase comes from, is that we're saying forget the fourth dimension. That was mentioned by Zebna in the stories that we read there as well. So there is one more here before it seems like Petra Patra ceases to exist here. Urgent. Temporal data processing complete. To Moharan and Qualan. Forgive me my waking message as a digital note sent to your lab accounts. I wiped my ambulatory and auto speech capability 3 years ago for additional memory. The unimaginable is mapped. The conclusion is deeply unnerving. The data from the portal experiments proves critical. Like the poles of a tent, the portal data provides stable dimensional points around which to construct a hypothetical framework of time. I was able to extrapolate the ripple effects of the portal events within this simulated framework and discovered the greatest ripple of all. We expected time to be circular, but I never would have hypothesized that our circle, our reality's time flow, pinches into a critical event, like the stem of an hourglass. In year 7 of processing, I found the spatial data of the incident, which I call the Foci Crux, the event of the past that guarantees the existence of our present. I was unable to determine the exact date and time. Foci Crux. Now, we read that this was determined to be Everly Praedis' death. Was the Foci Crux here. But here it goes. In year 9 of processing, I commanded the most exhaustive theoretical calculations to define the factors of the Foci Crux. The result: in Asbury Pines, Everly Praedis dies. Unknown, some point in Everly Praedis' lifetime. To the best of my capacity, based on the recorded imagery and historical and genetic information of the Praedis lineage, I have produced this digital rendering of the Everly Praedis, who is our Foci Crux. Which, again, of course, that's Everly Praedis. To state the implications of my finding in the clearest terms possible, the death of Everly Praedis ensures the existence of our unprecedented human achievement. Unrelated, please let me know why Zebna and Yura have not logged notes to our lab network for an extended time. Well, I think it's because Yura's passed away. Maybe Zebna's then was already gone by that point. And then finally, Petra Patra's consciousness is uploaded to a digital universe of like-minded AI beings in 2517, which maybe we'll get there at some point. So, again, very interesting. That gives us kind of the context as to how the rest of this goes. Kind of wish at that point I would have read that before this, but we can't really go back now. Let's just take a look here, because we also have then a number of items here that have, you'll see, have time travel to certain points. We have osmium travel to the Neolithic age. We had this common dove to the colonial age. And what else did we have? Uranium traveling to back in time. Let's look at their stories as well. Temporal research log from Zebna. 104, Yura opened the portal with her gem. The dove was delivered through the portal. The portal closed after the animal entered. Rapid and small dark energy shifts detected on the spectroscope. Petra Patra begins data processing, makes another guess of the localized dimensional event. We'll get the revelation in 2 days. Again, experiment 204. Extrapolation completed. Great news. More random data from the ether. Please record findings like the professional you are. A little note from Yura. So uranium was also sent back by Yura. At 8:11 a.m. I opened the portal with my gem. The uranium was delivered through the portal using zirconium tongs. Again, probably her exposure to uranium caused her sickness and death. The portal closed around the tongs after the matter entered. The tips of the tong extracted from the portal were superheated. Significant dark energy reverberations detected on the spectroscope. Petra Patra hypothesized a localized dimensional consequence of the experiment. Temporal data processing. The quadrilated dimensional extrapolations continue. Calculations ready in 2 days. Extrapolation calculated. Yet another data point. Larger framework for data points remain inconclusive. My patient wanes. I believe it's time to test living matter. I'm not getting any younger. And this was a note, I think, by Yura. And we also have osmium. Recorder Qualan here. At 8:32 a.m., Yura opened the portal with her gem. The osmium was delivered through the portal. The portal closed after the matter entered. Minuscule dark energy shift detected on the spectroscope. Pitter-Patra is on data processing and algorithmic extrapolations of hypothetical dimensional coordinates due to the vast scale of calculations. Data will require the usual 2 days of processing. Extrapolation calculated results inconclusive. On to the next test. So kind of all of these are sent back in time to various points, which we will get to as best as we can, moving into the past. We already talked about previously that the pine cone was sent way back into the past as well, so we'll discuss that. I think at this point we've done everything that we can in the future. We've looked at, there are some different artifacts here. We've got some graffiti that said forget the fourth. We've got this chronogate that they've been testing with, measures the ripples of an event in space-time, and revered we have some chemistry textbook information. I think that was revealed a long time ago. We may have some nature stories that's all been revealed to us. So let's read the springs of Mount Vivienne. H2Go. Water is life. The expansive underground reservoir gurgling to the surface gives Quent an explosion of substance. The city rapidly irrigates farms, builds homes, and lays infrastructure to accommodate more and more migrants. The dirty, squabbling masses at the gates are cleaned, clothed, fed, and sheltered so they can focus on learning. Those that refuse to break from violence and barbarism are given a sack of food and a map of the great waterhole roads. But the great many are eager to contribute to the symbiosis of the community. In turn, the community creates more positive energy than it consumes, much like nuclear fusion, which is expected to be harnessed in a matter of years. So, again, we have the springs of Mount Vivienne. Then we have Ebned's cabin, a simple home filled with ancient books. Let's see what we have here. Familiar wild, slingshots, seasoned jerkies, antler-handled knives, jeepers, magnifying glasses, quills and colored inks, long neck pipes, leather-bound books, fur hats, dry bundles of lavender, potted herbs, jugs of honeyed mead, and shelves with whittled figurines of boars and bears. The cabin of a man who cultivates nature and the simple joys it offers. A deep woods home for listening to the whispers of the wind and mind. A place that bridges the depths of the wild with the wisdom to gently shape it. How inviting for a lost, nervous child who is curious to learn about the world. And that's kind of our last of our nature stories. I believe we've discussed all of those throughout, and there's none more to unlock. So, with that in mind, we are now going to then jump all the way into the Neolithic path, and we're going to try to then move forward with that. We do have a little story here from Yura, which would be related to probably her jump forward. But we will kind of get Spearfinger going, which this is not just a folk legend, but this is Zebni that traveled back in time to try to potentially disrupt things and not let anyone meddle with the time distortion. Here we have Yura's story. Appa left for hunt and not return until dusk time. Amma went to gather the sparkleberries and flax. Ugh, flax means more rope making with the old wives tomorrow. Today, no one need to know. I sneak and search in the aspen forest for more crystal rock. Worry not needed. Brought by bone knife. Maybe star people will send more rocks to us. Hope so. Want a red one like cranberry. Also, night purple one like dewberry. I show Appa, Amma, and older children. All will name me Tribe Rockfinder and beg me to find. Oh, pine needle snapping. Be still, listen. That sighs. Poison breather, run, run. Which was then, we said that they traveled with her at some point. Poison breather, pant, fast like deer. Fight, then poison breather. Come, look me cutting. Sharp crystal rock from sky people. Crystal rock with killing magic. What's this line of lightning? Not burned to touch? Can go through. So that was then running away from the poison breather, got that first shift through time. So, and then what else do we have that's maybe we have some animals or plants that are in the past here? We do have some osmium that's in the past here that we should probably follow that. And then I think we do have some plants here. This is the pine cone, which we had talked about previously, was kind of helped spread some pine forests here. A pine cone plops into a forest of aspen. The air is damp and warm, perfect conditions for germination. The pine cone releases its seeds, which scatter in the wind, which we had seen previously, right? That there was this, but this tree, it's relentless. The pine trees here. Eventually, this pine cone sheds its seeds and rots, but you have the trees that kind of survive from that. So we'll have to then wait and see, and we'll continue some of the story from Spearfinger, and as well as then how the osmium affects the conditions in this Neolithic age. So I'm going to just pause it here briefly so that these can progress, and then we will take a look at them in once they've finished off a few stories. All right, so I've allowed some time to pass here so we can get a couple more stories in here before the video is done. So we had Zebny come back in time travel all the way back to the Neolithic age. We initially had just these like screechy sounds, but let's see if we actually have some story here. I can't keep living like this, huddled in an obsidian cave among dry leaves and dead grasses, no food or water reserves. The smoked fish will last me another meal, maybe. The locals, who are they? As closely as I watch and listen, their speech sounds nothing like the dozens of languages most common during the time of the Foci Crux. Do I try keeping to rely on the universal communication of Morse code? Ancient people used and recognized it across centuries. So it seems to me that she made a big mistake and traveled way deeper than she was supposed to. Ancient people used and recognized it across centuries. The possibility that I'm in the wrong era scares me to death, but the mission stands. I have to plant the seed of the idea. Meddling in the flow of time is the cause of human destruction. Forget the fourth. My encounter today was awful. I spotted teenage boys fishing in the pool of a stream, and I hoped I'd be less flighty than the children I hoped they'd be less flighty than children I contacted a few days before. I emerged from bushes on the other side of the stream, tried to wave a greeting and vocalize the Morse code SOS pattern. Ah ah ah, e e e e ah ah ah. Oh, that's why she seems crazy. But they pointed at my hand, shouted with fright, and fled without their belongings. They were so startled that they left their caught trout on the banks, my latest meal. It grows colder. My freeze-dried rations ran out 3 days ago. A few handfuls of blackberries I found have held me over, but even with this trout, the hunger never ceases, and I'm at risk of dehydration. Were it not for my fire, I would have long been torn up by the wolves, bears, and mountain lions. There's no other option. I must try to contact and join these people. Well, let's see how well that works. Let's jump to here. Oh, Zebna. Oh, Zebna. That was... Leave now. Grab what you can and go. If I'm lucky, I'll run into a new group, a new tribe, somewhere. I never meant to harm them. I only went down to the trout stream this morning for water, and then I saw her rustling and humming in the upper branches of the mulberry tree collecting its fruit. I thought I could talk to her, a grown girl, perhaps 14, and share some sort of feminine empathy, woman to woman. Is it the way I called to her, the way I appeared? She saw me, lost her footing, and fell, head first. Neck cracked, she went limp, fear frozen on her face. At best, I can never approach these people again. At worst, I'll be hunted. Where to go? Where to sleep? When am I? So yeah, she definitely made a mistake of traveling this far back in time. And this incident was eventually then noted, right, with the fear of the Spearfinger and very interesting on how all that played out for her. There is a nice artifact here. The crude green gem was and then I guess was eventually found. Well, I don't know, but that's shown up here, so we'll get that going and unlock that. There is an animal that's in this age. We'll take a look and read it. So the osmium here. Square of osmium appears in the Oort cloud. High-speed asteroid with a green tail collides into the dense square metal. Ice scatters off the asteroid and osmium embedded itself into the rock. The asteroid's trajectory shifted by 7 degrees. It leaves the Oort cloud. After 694 years of hurtling through space, the osmium in the asteroid returns to Earth. Osmium superheats with the asteroid as it enters Earth's atmosphere. Asteroid smacks into Earth's crust, and osmium splits the rock in a thunderous crack. By a forest of ancient aspen, a green crystal glows in the asteroid's core. So throwing the osmium itself created the green crystal? Is that what it's saying here? So then that's where then we actually found, this crude green crystal, perhaps. Very interesting on kind of how exactly that turned out to be. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at here. Now I might just, if we have enough time, just wait for this to finish before we jump into anything else, because we don't really know kind of where else. So Quallen is sitting here in Y2K, and he's will have to then kind of reach his story next, is where we have to jump to. But we do have kind of an update from Spearfinger that, she was really just kind of lost in this timeline and eventually was killed by a mountain lion. So trying to stop things really didn't work, and maybe that proves the theory that she was meant to come back here, because then we had the Long Spirit be able to then do their little powerful chant. Yeah, so that's kind of it there. We have to really stop at this point here. We're going to have to then jump into kind of moving forward. We have not only this osmium to keep track of, but we do have this common dove. We're going to have some uranium eventually to take a look at that was delivered to this new age here, and we'll have to see what comes of all that. But thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and we will see you again next time. Bye for now.